Buying sunglasses online is not a good idea, right? Because you can't try them on, you can't know for sure if you like them, so why even try? Well, I don't really agree with that, and I'm going to tell you why. Stick around. Hello and welcome, I'm Eyeglass Tyler. You are probably looking into purchasing sunglasses or even prescription sunglasses completely online, and perhaps you don't know where to start. Well, fear not, because we got your back with these 5 pro tips to buying the perfect pair of shades that will make you look, feel, and see your best. One thing I want to say at the onset of this that really should give you a ton of peace of mind is talking to you about our See Better guarantee. If you decide to order from SportRx, thanks to our See Better guarantee, you're never at risk of having something that you don't like or just doesn't work for you. You have as long as 45 days with them to figure that out. Even if you get them in prescription, we will take care of you no matter what that means. You just reach out to us. We also, by the way, have opticians. Very friendly, very knowledgeable opticians who would love to help you get it right the first time. So you can always reach out to us for that peace of mind. Well, let's start talking about these tips for buying online. First thing that is important, I think, is to choose sunglasses specific for the activities that you enjoy. This might kind of make sense. This is usually the first way that people approach us. They will say, I am a cyclist. What is the best pair of cycling sunglasses that I can get? It is a really good idea because one of the biggest problems for buying online is variety. You have so many different options. There's like option overload. And so if you can specify at least something like an activity that you enjoy, it'll help to narrow the parameters, narrow the spectrum, and make it a lot easier on you. When you have that more limited scope, then there are definitely certain elements that you want to be looking for in your frame. We can't go too exhaustive in this video right now because there are so many different sports and there are so many different things to look for in all of those, but worry not, fear not. We probably have a video on it. So if you have a specific frame style in mind, then that's great. But if you have just a sport style in mind, then we have some recommendations of what frame features to look for and very likely some great frame recommendations for you. Now, beyond all of those details in terms of frame features, there are also, of course, lenses to go into. When it comes to lenses, I can give you a quick, brief overview. There is a lot more I could get into here though, but just as a general overview, if you're looking for sunglasses for kind of day-to-day leisure and driving activities, then polarized lenses are actually a really good option since they help to cut glare bouncing off of other objects like the road, the asphalt, other vehicles, windshields, water, especially even snow. If we're talking ball sports on the other side of the coin, then I usually don't recommend polarized because it is possible that it can affect your depth perception negatively. Generally across the board, I am a huge fan of contrast enhancement. This is something that I think not everyone has experienced, and there is a lot to offer there. With contrast enhancement, it helps to make colors pop a little bit more. It helps to make it easier to differentiate one thing from another, makes it easier to read the terrain, makes it easier to spot and track things like balls or potholes in the road. There are a lot of benefits to a contrast enhancing lens, and I almost always recommend it. There are a few exceptions to that. Next up, when it comes to picking frames, I don't think it's a good idea to cheap out. Obviously, I mean, I'm talking to you from an optical retailer. Yeah, I think that you shouldn't skimp out on getting a good quality frame, like high quality frame materials, but it's because it makes a huge difference. If you want to wear something that you don't have to worry about, that performs well for you and doesn't break down, there isn't really any alternative other than going with these better frame materials, these better frame builds. I think it's a good idea to avoid those kiosks, those mall kiosk sunglass shops, because they're looking to just sell a budget frame. They'll sell it for 15 bucks. They bought it for probably 50 cents. There's a reason that it's so cheap. It's not going to last you very long. A better quality frame is going to last you a really long time, and it still doesn't even have to break the bank. We have a lot of options ranging from cheap to relatively pricey that are really great, all of them amazing. And so you can definitely find some great options. Usually it means relying on a better, more notable name like Oakley, Ray-Ban, Maui Jim, Wiley X. There are a lot of great options out there, and it doesn't mean you have to break the bank, but it does mean that you're going to get a much better result and you're going to be happier with them, especially when we're talking optics. I think that's a huge deal. Yes, I'm talking about getting a good quality frame material, but also good quality optics makes a huge difference. Your world is going to be better. I mean, how much do we rely on our eyes? A ton. It is a really good idea to not skimp out. Don't go cheap. Hey, if you're enjoying this content, but maybe you have additional questions about buying sunglasses online, well, you can reach out to one of our very friendly SportRx opticians. I keep mentioning us. I think that it's amazing that we have so many people ready and willing to help you out and will help you get it right because they know what they're doing. So I always recommend you reach out to us. And for even more expert advice, reviews, and tips on things, all things sunglasses, we have videos and blogs. We'll put a link in the description below. While we're talking about not skimping out, another really good tip is to make sure you get sunglasses that actually protect your eyes. It is a really good idea to stick with brands that have built a reputation around good quality, especially in terms of optics and protection. You'll need that lens technology to guard against UVA, UVB rays, and you'll have some that'll include those filters like polarization. It's not all polarization is the same. Not all polarization are created equal. There are definitely cheap polarized lenses out there that are going to kind of obstruct your vision. They're not going to be great looking through. Color enhancement, there are a lot of color enhancing tint technologies out there that are fantastic. When it comes to mirror coatings, it is largely an aesthetic thing, especially with some of those brands out there, but there are some functional benefits to it as well. There's a lot more I can get into about that, but just essentially suffice it to say that there are very cheap ways to do these lens features that will result in a less than ideal user experience. Quality lenses offer also premium scratch resistance, smudge resistance, durable polycarbonate plastics that are impact resistant, better optical clarity out of other lens materials. There's a lot to consider, but definitely get something that you know and can rely on is going to protect your eyes. Another good thing to consider, of course, is getting something that matches your style. There is something to say about liking the sunglasses that you have. There is definitely a performance feature, especially if you're looking at certain sports. There might be a time when you're like, I'm not really a huge fan of how these look, but it is a functional performance reason that you would go with a design like that. But there are a lot of options out there still, and so you can definitely reach out to us and we can give you some guidance on that to find something that maybe is a good compromise of not perfectly matching your style, but still giving you the performance that you need. We do offer a lot of very stylish frames for every face type, from small faces to big heads, so you don't have to stress about that. Best of all, we have an easy lens configurator, so you can customize your lenses a la carte, or you can select from our Sport Optimized lens packages, which will give you lots of prescription lens options. Last but not least, we got to talk about prescription. You got to make sure that your prescription needs are met. The majority of frame models that we offer on the site are available in prescription and can be made in a very wide range of prescriptions, but not all of them. Like this guy, for instance, is not available in prescription. Those shield designs tend to be a little tougher. Really, the only option is either an insert, or in the case of Oakley, they do have like a Sport Shield implant where the prescription lens is kind of embedded in that shield lens. But anyway, the whole point is to say that you need to make sure that you are seeing as well as you can see, and that you just know that you can. There are a lot of sport options out there, sport frame models that you can get in prescription. You may not have known that. And so again, check out our YouTube channel if you're new to it. We have lots of different recommendations out there, especially for prescription wearers, because that's near and dear to our heart at SportRx, as in prescription. SportRx, get it? You probably already got it. That's fine. But suffice it to say that prescription is very important, and there are probably a lot of great options that will meet your prescription needs. So check those out and always reach out to us. And that wraps it up for our 5 top tips for buying sunglasses online. I hope at very least this was helpful. That's the whole point. Maybe you are a lot more comfortable and you're ready to buy. If you are, and maybe you've been interested in these frames that I have here on the table as examples, stick around for a moment longer because we'll have a quick and easy to click now button for shopping. And if you are ready to order, again, don't forget about that See Better guarantee. I really think it gives you a ton of peace of mind. And for peak peace of mind, us opticians, I will never stop talking about us because I think it's great. I think it's awesome that we're not just people good and friendly to talk to on the phone, but we're expert opticians, and that we are the ones also doing these sports that you're doing and loving everything that we do outdoors. And so we would love to hear from you. Reach out to us. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this was interesting or valuable information. If so, throw us a like because that helps us out. You can find relevant videos over here. And if you are ready to shop these styles here, you can click this button right here. If you are looking for some other cool content that's exciting and fun and new, you can check us out on our social media outlets. I think you should check us out there because I think we have cool stuff and I think you'll like it. Otherwise, I wouldn't recommend it. So check us out.